Okay, Matt, whenever you're ready.
Good morning, sir. The topic of the Viva Voce for today is the bembe, an Afro-Cuban folkloric rhythm and its adaptation to the Western drum set. The bembe rhythm is a 6/8 bell pattern that found its way to the island of Cuba via the Yoruban people from West Africa and the transportation of slaves to the New World. Another place where we find the bembe rhythm is in the sacred bata drums from the Santeria religion of Afro-Cuba. As I mentioned, the bell pattern's in 6/8, and I'll demonstrate the bell pattern now. 1, 2. Also, in this music we find the use of a clave. Now, clave is the Spanish word for key, and in all Latin or African descent musics we find this clave or this key rhythm. I'll demonstrate that again on the desk this time. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, what's unique to this bembe rhythm is that when the bell pattern and the clave are combined, you get a call and response type motion, and you get some sense of harmony and some sense of pitch direction. I'll play the cowbell and again the clave on the desk. 1, 2, 1, 2. Also in this folkloric style we have an instrument which is uniquely African and found in all Afro-Cuban song styles and very popular amongst percussionists throughout the globe. This is a shekere. Shekere starts life as a simple gourd, which is similar to a pumpkin grown on a vine. The gourd is hollowed out and was originally used to transport water to and from the village. This is a factory-made fiberglass gourd with a skirt made of plastic beads, and it's quite loud and very robust. I'll demonstrate the bembe rhythm and clave on the shekere. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'd like to play a couple of musical examples. The first of which is a field recording from the album Drums of Cuba, and it's simply titled Bembe. In this example we can clearly hear the traditional 6/8 bembe bell pattern, and we can hear another bell pattern played which creates a counter rhythm. We get some sense of pitch direction. Although the cowbells are classified as untuned percussion, they do have a melody that exists between the rhythmic interplay of the two cowbells. We also hear the shekere and the bembe drums, which are similar to a conga drum, are cylindrical in shape, a steer or cow head, but they are peg tuned rather than the rope tuned of a West African djembe. And the next example, I would like to demonstrate how the bembe rhythm started finding its way into jazz. This is an example from Poncho Sanchez entitled Afro-Cuban 6/8, and in this example we hear a traditional Latin rhythm section of congo, timbale and bongosera player, although the bongosera player is playing shekere, and we get the sense of how this might sound with acoustic piano and upright bass.
One, two, three, four, five, six.
The next example is from the groundbreaking Santana record Abraxas, which was part of the fusion movement of the 70s. In this example we hear the electrified guitar with distortion, and what's cool about this example is it starts off in 4/4 and we hear the modulation to the traditional 6/8 pattern. The final example I have today is by David Garibaldi, also from the San Francisco area. This is from the 1990s. It's a song called Lakeside Shuffle, and it's typical of the funkier side of the fusion movement. And we'll hear the saxophone and organs that are typical in that funk fusion genre. In closing, I hope that my presentation today has given a little perspective on this uniquely Afro-Cuban rhythm and the journey it has taken in popular music.
Oh, thanks very much, Matt. Can you give us an example of the adaptation of a folkloric instrument to the Western drum set?
Sure. The Western drum set itself started life as a fusion of styles. It has the marching drum origins of bass drum and snare drum with some cymbals from Turkey. The first sort of folkloric instruments added were a cowbell and a woodblock. And if I play the bembe rhythm on the traditional Western drum set, we get this kind of texture and tone colour. But with the addition of the folkloric instruments, this is a shekere I made myself, modified to fit on the hi-hat. So we can play the cowbell and the woodblock and the shekere, and we get this adaptation.
Thanks very much, Matt. You mentioned fusion a couple of times in your talk. Can you define what fusion is?
Fusion is a musical genre that was prevalent in the 60s, and it's a fusion of the rock world meeting the jazz world. We had the harmony and improvisation from jazz combined with the funk, Latin and rock styles. The song styles changed and also the instrumentation changed. Pianos turned into synthesizers. Clean sounding guitars turned into guitars with all kinds of effects, distortion, delay, reverb, drums got bigger, had more components to them, and the fusion of funk, jazz, rock created a new movement and a new sound.
Thanks very much, Matt.